All right, so now I'm going to kind of show you how to find some hot tokens using the Crypto Underworld method. Now, what you see here on the screen is another example of a token of a project that has skyrocketed 10,000% here. That's 100x. All-time high at 54 cents, all-time low 36%. But what you don't see there, and that's just for that one day. But what you don't realize here is this had what's called a pre-sale and a private sale that sold this token for pennies, like less than pennies, okay? And then it had skyrocketed since. And this is what's called a launch pad. I'm just going to give you this right here, right now. The launch pad is a website. It's a decentralized finance, crypto, blockchain launch pad where new projects that are just getting started, that are just being released to the world, start. And this is the kind of launch pad that you use to get in to these projects in the very, very beginning. They go launch pad, they go private sale. Okay, first of all, that means friends and family and early investors that invest the millions of dollars in technology, they get their share of the tokens. And then they have what's called a pre-sale, which is allotted to people like you and me for less than pennies on the dollar in some cases. It depends. Every project's different on what the pre-sale price is, but it's very, very, very cheap. All right. And you have to go through some hoops here and there. You have to do some things in order to get whitelisted and in order to get accepted. There are many. This is not the only one. And in the course, I show you many of these launch pads that you really need to get in as fast as possible, because there are projects launching on these launch pads every single day. And I'm involved. I'm getting allocated tokens for pennies on the dollar. And these things, as soon as they launch on the decentralized exchanges, they pump up, skyrocket, 10x, 100x, 1000x. It's just crazy how fast these things go up. And then once they gain a lot of traction in the decentralized exchanges, then they eventually maybe get listed on the centralized exchanges. Not all of them, but the great ones do. And if you're involved in one of those and some of those, you spread it around. You don't go all in on one token, guys. You don't just, these things, you just never know. No one's a fortune teller. You never know how these things work out. But if you get into multiple ones, you are going to reap the reward. So again, this is how you find the hot tokens as you get involved in the launch pads and get in on what we call IDOs, initial DEX offerings, or IGOs, initial game offerings. And it's just kind of like the beginning of a project. And this presentation, I'm going to, basically tell you a little bit about myself and where I come from and what I've done in this internet age, and a little bit of who I am. I'm going to show you some results of some of the projects that I've been getting involved in over the last year, some really exciting stuff, and just sort of show you what we have. At the end of this, of course, we're gonna make an offer here. Right now, we're having this product launch of a lot of training and software that I put together to kind of just show you everything that I've been doing recently. It's all very, very fresh. None of this is old. I put together everything in the last probably 2 or 3 weeks. I didn't want to make this course in the past when I was thinking about doing it, because this space moves so fast and changes so quickly. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen. But anyway, well, let's just get started. I'm going to go through this presentation with you, and then at the end, I'm going to hop over into my VPS and kind of just show you around and ask any questions you may have, and then we'll just take it from there. All right, guys. Well, welcome to the Crypto Underworld Training Workshop, and let's just get started here. Oh, wrong screen. All right. Hi there. My name is Todd Spears, and I'm going to show you my underground method for finding the next Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Shiba Inu before they go mainstream. And guys, that is the key to this whole entire thing. I mean, we all wish that we all bought Bitcoin for, pennies on the dollar back in 2010, 2011 when it first came out. But, we didn't quite know what was going on. So that's what I'm really, really going to focus on here now. But this is not about going out and buying Bitcoin. All right, a little bit more about me. I'm going to back this up just a little bit. I actually started making money online back in 1996. So yeah, I'm going to date myself a little bit. I had just graduated from college and I got, I have a degree in computer science and mathematics. I've been programming since I was about 10 years old. And that's just where my life took me. And then the internet, of course, sprung up in the mid 90s and I was already involved and I was the nerdy guy, right, so to speak. All my friends kind of made fun of me that I was always on my computer, like researching and learning and getting involved. But I just knew that it was going to change the world. And no one else around me at that time kind of saw that, but I did. And I dove right in. And yeah, so they say the rest is history. I've been running a successful online marketing company since 1996. I sold a big company in 2003, a lead generation company that was backed by software to a big bank in Colorado. And that was a very, very good payday. And then I moved into basically building up a lot of SEO tools and training and knowledge. And I pioneered some of the things that we all use today when we're doing search engine optimization, such as the private blog networks. And I was actually the first inventor of SEO hosting. So been doing that for a really long time. But back in 2013, I came across Bitcoin. A good friend of mine, a mentor, business partner. We have had relations for a long, long time. He's more nerdy than me, so to speak. His actual handle online since the 90s is Cyber Nerd, believe it or not. And he introduced me to the idea of Bitcoin and blockchain way back in 2013, and I was very intrigued by it. It was all brand new, and I thought, wow, this is a weird concept, right? Using something else besides, paper dollar bills or your credit card to buy something, right? But I thought, wow, this is really cool. And he convinced me that it was going to be the future. So I got involved early. I built some mining rigs because the nerd that I am, I know how to build computers with my own hands. I actually have a data center in downtown Dallas where I built with my own two hands, basically, just because I wanted to know how to do it. So I have racks of servers. I have a hosting company and all that jazz, but I had some extra power that wasn't being used in order to, when you want to mine Bitcoin, all you need is, a computer with some high-powered graphic cards, some good software, and most importantly, you need the electricity. The electricity is kind of where it costs you money, and that's where it becomes, is it worth it or not to mine and pay the electric bill? But anyway, so I got involved building mining rigs, and that taught me a lot about how everything worked. A lot of fun. I don't actually mine anymore because it just became a little bit cost prohibitive and things of that nature. But I've also, another way that you can make money in crypto is by setting up master nodes. And if you get in early enough on these projects and build master nodes, buy into master nodes. And at the time, we got into Dash. Back then, it was called Darkcoin. It was supposed to be a more anonymous and more just anonymous than Bitcoin and like some sort of untraceable thing. They rebranded to Dash, but back then you had to buy 1,000 coins in order to become a masternode. And a masternode just required you to set up a server and software to validate the transaction. Back when it was $2. If you know where Dash is now, it hovers between 200 and 400. All right, so just think about 1,000 coins for 2,000 back in I believe it was 2014. And yeah, so me and my partner actually had around 5 or 6 of these master nodes going. So Dash was a great success for us, and we're real proud of where that's going, and that project is just is very, very good. Then, I was also involved in the 2017, 2018 bull run, trading here, trading there. And I learned a lot back then because, the money was just crazy here and there. But you know what? It was just as unpredictable as the last time. Bitcoin, as we all know, it rose to crazy heights and then it crashed back down. And then we had a crypto winter for a couple of years. And now we're back into another bull cycle. So I was a little bit dormant during the crypto winter, just kind of holding on to what I had and waiting to see how things shake out. But last December of 2020, if you've been following this, it took off again, right? And now we are in the midst of a huge bull run again. And so back in December 2020, I'm like, okay, now we're getting somewhere again. Let me get back into this and let me see what's going on. Let me find out how I can capitalize on this. And I discovered DeFi. I had heard of DeFi probably around August, September of 2020, but I was too busy with my other business that I really didn't get involved until December of 2020. And I thought, what is all this about? What is going on? So I set my sights on learning it, understanding it, spent hours of research and YouTube and articles and friends and masterminds and talking to people and trying to figure out what was going on here. And then I started into trading in the DeFi space, in the underworld space around February of 2021. And so that's what I've been doing mainly this whole entire year of 2021 is understanding how the DeFi space works. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. All right, just a little bit more about me, kind of like who I am, what I do. I run a software company, an SEO software company. I have partners and staff that do most of the work now. So most of my time is devoted to the blockchain technology and the crypto universe and understanding all that it is. I'm also developing new software for this space that's never been created for. So that's a lot of fun. But other than that, I like to travel. I go to Europe a lot, South America. I live, the epitome, the laptop lifestyle, if you want to call it that. I mean, I can literally go and do wherever, whatever, whenever I want. Also like to play poker. That's always a fun pastime of mine. All my friends get together, or maybe I go to, Vegas or some casinos around here and mix it up with poker. I feel like I'm pretty good at it, so it's a lot of fun. Also love to go deep sea fishing. Here's a picture of me and my family down in Galveston. Just a few months ago, we went shark fishing and we caught this beautiful sand shark here. Don't worry, we let her go. We just petted her for a little bit, put her back in the water. She swam away peacefully. And the funny thing and the great thing is we set on another drift, and the next drift we caught a hammerhead. I don't have a picture of that one in front of us, unfortunately. Not enough space for it, but I should put it on here. But it's a beautiful hammerhead with my mom and my son. And her, we caught it. They actually brought the hammerhead in, and it was a lot of fun. I'm also really big into CrossFit. That's what I do every morning when I wake up. I go in there and punish myself in the gym. And if you've never done CrossFit before, then you don't understand what I'm talking about. But it's very, very grueling, but also very, very rewarding in the end. And of course, I always get to spend some time with my friends and family. I'm basically taking the whole month of December off to travel and visit friends and family throughout the holidays. So this is the kind of lifestyle that I live, and crypto and software and just being online has afforded me to do throughout my life. All right, so, let's dive in here, guys. Mute your phone, pay attention, and then hopefully you're going to learn a lot here, and I'm going to show you some stuff that you've never, ever seen or heard about before. All right, the first point I want to make is, as Ankur mentioned in the opening there, he talked about Shiba Inu. And yes, Shiba Inu has been in the news a lot lately. And here you can see $1,000 invested back in January of 2021, just this year, would be worth $650 million. Now, I know it's come down 20 or 30% here in the last month or so. But anyway, it's still hundreds of millions of dollars if you're to put 1,000 invested in January. And just to be clear, the reason why I point this out is Shiba did not start out in the mainstream. Shiba did not start on a centralized exchanges where it is now, such as Gate, such as Binance, the big exchanges now list Shiba. But it started in the underworld, and nobody knew about it except the people in the underworld. Okay, so that's kind of why I really want to make this point home. This is what this is about, is finding projects in the underworld. I call it the underworld. It's basically the DeFi space. The reason why I call it the underworld is because you got to be careful down there. There are some really scammy things going on. It's very unregulated. It's very wild, wild west. It reminds me of the early days of the internet when nobody really knew how to control things. And that's what's going on in the DeFi space. That's why I call it the underworld, and I'll get more into that in just a little bit. But I really wanted to make sure and point out that you guys understand Shiba was not a thing in the beginning. It was a underworld DeFi token that launched down in that space. And I'll get more into that, like I said, in just a minute. Again, imagine if you'd have been able to, if you knew about Shiba and you picked it up. I did. I did. I didn't put a lot of money into it. But I've made some healthy, good profits in Shiba over the last several months. but I did know about it down there in the underworld before it went crazy. All right, so how did I do it? So here I'm just going to explain a little bit more about how I find the hot tokens in the DeFi space before they go mainstream. What exactly is the crypto underworld? I described earlier. It's basically the DeFi space, and that stands for decentralized finance. That means there's no banks involved. There's no there's no KYC. You don't have to kind of divulge who you are, and it's backed by the community. It's as if the DeFi space is basically the people are putting in the money, what they call the liquidity, in order for it to function. So it's kind of owned by the people and not by the banks. And those that supply the liquidity or the money or the tokens into the decentralized finance space are the ones that get rewarded in tokens and in, extra value. You make the interest on people's transactions, so to speak. All right, so how does all this work? Basically, before the tokens go mainstream, before they get on the exchanges, before everyone knows about them, as of the way it works now is they start off in the decentralized finance space. They launch down in the underworld for pennies on the dollar in private sales and in pre-sales, and then they go live on what we call DEXs, D-E-X, decentralized exchanges. Decentralized exchanges is different than what I call the sexes, the CEXs. The centralized exchanges are the ones that you've all heard of: Coinbase, Binance, Gemini, Kraken. There are a lot of FTX. There are a lot of centralized exchanges where you can go and buy Bitcoin, buy Ethereum, buy everything like that. But a lot of tokens start out down here in the DeFi space, and you can get them at some really, really low prices. Now, if those tokens down in the DeFi space get a lot of attention, get a lot of traction, start doing a lot of volume, the sexes see this and they want to list those tokens on their exchange because they know that people will buy them. And the sexes only exist because they make a percentage on every single trade that you make, right? That's how they make their money. They take a piece of every trade. And so they want to list all of, the popular tokens that are down in the DeFi space. And when that happens, that's when these tokens really start to take off and really make a lot of people rich. All right. And this kind of reminds me of the early days of the internet. Like I told you before, I started in the 90s, and I was like the only one in my group of friends that, was on the internet, that used the internet. I connected with a dial-up. I chatted with complete strangers. It was all very, very brand new, and nobody quite understood it. But eventually, it's become the center of our world. There's not a single person listening to me right now that does not use the internet either on their computer, on their phone, every single day of their life. It's true. It has become a part of our entire being, right? And this is where we are now, I believe, in the blockchain. We are still in its infancy, right? If blockchain and the crypto technology, blockchain technology, will change the world. It will disrupt every aspect of our lives, from banking, number one, to real estate, to healthcare, to education, to voting, to gaming. And gaming is going to be where all the next multimillionaires are made if you're investing in these gaming blockchain technologies early on. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of the news about the metaverse. Facebook just changed their global corporation name to Meta because it's all going to be on the blockchain. It is coming. It is here to stay, and it's going to change the world in the next, I would say, 5 to 10 years, 10 years maximum. Now, we are where we are today on the internet for the last, I believe it started in 93, 92, 94. I think the first browser, Netscape, came out around 93. So it's been 20 plus years in order for us to get, maybe not 20 years, but at least 15 years for the internet to become, our part of our life. Well, blockchain is going to move a lot faster than that. So you need to get in now. Now is the perfect time to get in on these projects. And if you invest wisely in a lot of great projects, then you will be rewarded handsomely. All right. So now I'm going to go into, just a few screenshots, just a few of the tokens that I've found down here in the underworld. You will not find these on the centralized exchanges, but a lot of these projects are going to change the world in the way we do things. They all have their own specific niches, like I said before. There's all kinds of different uses for the blockchain. Now, some of these screenshots I'm going to show you are the meme coins, like Dogecoin. Now, Doge might have a use case later on because they have so much money now. They're developing them into something else. But previously, Doge was just a joke coin. It was a copy of Litecoin intended to be a joke. That's what we call a meme coin. They have no use cases. All right. Shiba was kind of just a meme coin too, playing off the popularity of Dogecoin. But now they have so much money. They've launched a lot of things, Bone and Leash and a Dex. But I'm going to show you a little bit of a mix of the two and kind of explain what they are. This one that you're looking at right now was a phenomenal one. I got in right on the early launch, and it has went up 3,432%. Okay. And Diamond Boys was just created by a jeweler down in Houston, Texas, that wanted to certify diamonds and put the certifications on the blockchain. You know how you have GIA certified diamonds? Well, he's moving that certification onto the blockchain to prove without a shadow of a doubt that you own this particular diamond ring. So again, just a beautiful concept of someone being able to prove that they own something that's on an immutable blockchain. So this is a great one that I've been involved in. I got in early on, and it's gone up and down a little bit since this chart, but it has made me some good profits. And one thing I also want to make sure that I'm mentioning here along the way is that you never know about some of these projects, and it's always a good idea as you invest in them. Once they go up 2 or 3x, in other words, 200 or 300%, take your initials back out so that in the end of the day, you're never going to lose money, and you leave the rest in there for what we call a moon bag. See, this one traded sideways on me for, quite a while. This is a month-long chart here, but look at this pop that it came here at the end. That's what happened to my moon bag. I took my money out back in here, and hold on one second. I got a little bit of feedback here. Let me mute that mic. Okay, now we're better. So this is what we call holding a moon bag and waiting for it to pop. And this is a perfect example of how that happened. This was up, as you can see, 118% in one day on this spike. There's kind of a couple of days here at the end, but 118% is so common down here in the right projects. Here's another one, 339% in 24 hours. This is a great chart of a day-long trend, and all-time high is right here, 339% in one day. This was a good project to get into. Now, this one was, for the most case, a meme coin, but it had a lot of hype down in the Telegram space, and there were a lot of look at the volume on this. That on a meme coin, that's quite a bit of volume, 844K in one day. That's quite a bit. It's quite a good. I actually got out of this coin, but I made several $1,000s in the process. All right, so you have to understand the difference between a meme coin that's probably going nowhere in the future, but you can still make money in it, and then the other one is the projects down here in the underworld in the DeFi space that actually have a great use case. Okay, there is a difference. And the ones with the great use cases you want to hold on to, go through the ups and downs, and just wait for them to pump in the future. Here's just an example of a pancake swap. Here's how I put in $1,100, and in 9 hours, I almost doubled my money. Again, you see the little dog here on the screen. This was another meme coin. I saw it coming. I saw the hype. I got in. I doubled my money, and I got out. And as you can see here, this is the screenshot of Pancake Swap, and this is my my value down here at the bottom, $2,080. So just an example there. Oops, I might get a few messages over here in my Telegram groups go off quite a bit. All right, so everything you're going to need to know to get results is covered inside this course. You're going to discover a simple crypto method that's perfect for beginners. I'll show you how to find tokens before they explode and go mainstream. You could find the next Shiba Inu. It's out there, and I'll show you how to find it. No prior crypto experience is required. We're going to start you from the very beginning and teach you all the software you need to install, which is very minimal. It's basically just a couple of plugins on your Chrome browser or your Brave browser. Don't sleep on the Brave browser. You really should be using the Brave browser. It has better security and better privacy, and you're not being watched. Okay. Plus, you can get started for as little as $25. You don't need a lot of money to invest in crypto. It's all fractional. You can put in as little or as much as you want. You can profit from crypto without risking any big money. This method has nothing to do with Bitcoin or Ethereum. Like really, like you can trade, you can buy Bitcoin now, go through its ups and downs, and in 10 years, yeah, it's going to be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. But right now at its current rate, about $60,000 per coin. Okay, it needs to get to $120,000 per coin for you to double your money. All right, and that might happen. You can double your money in a few months. It's not going to be an easy ride. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. It could crash down to 30K and then it could pop back up to 100K. It's a thing, right? And I don't. I'm not saying you shouldn't buy Bitcoin. I think everybody should hold some Bitcoin. And the same thing goes for Ethereum. They've already skyrocketed. They've already done their 10,000, 100,000% increase, right? And now it takes more market cap and more money for those to explode. So that's not what this is about. What we're looking at is getting into brand new projects that no one knows about, but that are going to change the world. And we can get into those tokens for pennies on the dollar. And then hopefully someday they'll reach hundreds or thousands of dollars per token. And then that is the next, whatever coin millionaire. All right. So we're gonna include all the training to do that, resource guides, and we're also gonna have 4, maybe 5, maybe 6. I've already scheduled out a lot of training, almost weekly, other than when I'm traveling. We're gonna hold these on Mondays or Tuesdays every week for the next month or two. I've already got 4 or 5 scheduled out. The only time I'm skipping a week here and there is for the holidays or when I'm traveling. I've got to go to Puerto Rico in December. I'm going to go skiing. I'm going to take my kids skiing in Lake Tahoe during Christmas and all of that. So we are going to do a lot of live Q&A and make sure that you guys, aren't left behind and not missing, not understanding something. So I will be holding these live and asking all your questions. And as always, you have a no risk 14-day money back guarantee. If the course is just not for you, simply submit a support ticket and we will refund your money, no questions asked.